Hi, my name is Anushka Punjabi, and today I'm going to be hosting the Around the World cooking class. This class not only gives you confidence how to cook different things from different places, but also teaches you about that place, how its history was, and what makes it so unique from other places. Today's place is Australia. Did you know that Australia is not only a country but also a continent? Today's recipe will be Anzac cookies. Anzac cookies, also known as soldier cookies, were made by wives who sent their husbands off to war. So, the ingredients are whole wheat flour, half a cup of sugar, half a cup of oats, and 1/3 cup of shredded coconut. The other ingredients are butter, 4
tablespoons.
4 tablespoons, 1 tablespoon of honey, half a teaspoon of baking soda, and we have a saucepan which we are going to be using later in this lesson. Our oven is preheated to 300 degrees Fahrenheit. And right now, let's just start with the recipe. So right now we're going to be mixing all the dry ingredients, which includes the whole wheat flour. We're gonna mix this in a nice big bowl because it's all the dry ingredients, and the half a cup of sugar, half a cup of the oats, and 1/3 cup of the shredded coconut. So right now, we're going to be starting the stove so that we can mix our wet ingredients, or some of our wet ingredients. And so while we wait to make the saucepan hot, we have put 1 tablespoon of water, and that is going to boil, okay? And this part of the recipe can get a little tricky, so I recommend just paying attention really well for this part.
Okay. And would you recommend for small kids to get assistance with their parents before
Yes.
using the stove?
I recommend assistance with only the stove and the oven, putting in and putting out, and setting the oven, because that can get a little tricky.
Okay. So what do we have here? We have some water that is warming up, about a tablespoon.
Yes, about a tablespoon.
Okay.
And so while we wait for that to heat, we are going to mix the dry ingredients. So just gonna mix it. We don't want to crush any of the ingredients. We just want to mix it lightly to make like a combination.
So did you know that it's such a coincidence that the 25th of April is the
Actually,
World
the
War
World War I
Memorial?
which is actually the day that they were traditionally made. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Because I found about that just a while ago. And so while we were talking, this water just got heated up.
Okay.
And so now we're gonna put this water inside the baking soda.
Okay.
So right now, we have a nice clean stove. There's nothing in it. So while our stove is hot, we're going to be adding the 4 tablespoons of butter.
So will we be getting the ingredient list in advance and the measurements so we can keep this ready before the class?
Yes, I have sent it out in the
email?
In the email,
Okay.
or in the calendar if you had it.
Okay.
And I just gave out the ingredients just in case.
Okay.
So, yes, hopefully you know.
Okay.
Please tell me if I'm going a little too fast. So, yes.
Okay, and we'll get this butter melted, and once it's melted, it's just a matter of mixing all these ingredients together.
Yes.
Oh, that looks
And
like
that is
a...
the really simple part. That is why I love this recipe. You just have to mix. You just have to do one simple hard part, which is just making sure that you get the tablespoon of water into the baking soda immediately. And now we're just gonna let our butter
melt.
melt
Okay.
for a while.
We can add the honey too.
Yes. So
Okay.
right now we're gonna be adding the honey.
Okay. So a cool tip to prevent the honey from sticking is to lightly oil the container or the spoon that you're going to be using. So that's what we have done, and that the honey won't stick to the container then. Okay, so once this is done and it's just about melted,
And
we
want
are-
to be really careful on this part because the honey can, or the
Bubble up.
butter can really bubble. And so I recommend calling an adult for this part.
okay, and then
So we will mix this together.
and then you can add it into the
right now
butter
we're
and honey mixture. Let's go.
We're gonna add this together.
Yeah. So Anushka, did you always like baking and cooking?
No, not really. I was never really fond of baking until I saw how many different things you can make with it. But yes, I don't think baking is a thing that everyone would like. Like, it may be for you. Like, there are different levels of like baking, and so I think it's all. I always loved baking, but if you don't like baking, it is okay. But I really like baking, so.
Okay, so this is done, and then should we just mix this into the dry ingredients?
Yes, we are going to be mixing this in, the dry ingredients, very slowly.
I think you can just dump it all in and get some assistance with
If you,
parent for that.
this might be too heavy to hold. It's very heavy.
Okay.
Put this away.
And then you can mix it up. Do you want to mix it? That's smelling good with the honey.
Yeah, that smells really good.
So did you know that Anzac cookies were made because they do not turn stale or they do not get spoiled, and thus they last long. They're healthy and they're good for you too. So once you make this, you might want to get a little messy and use your hands if that works. Wash your hands more so now, but every time during cooking, make sure to keep your work surfaces clean and wash your hands.
We are just going to quickly wipe down our container.
You mean the counters?
Yes, counter.
Okay.
And now we're gonna get our hands in.
Yeah. So just mix it up. You can mix using one hand so it becomes easier. And once it comes to a ball, you can get help with your parents to do this. And then all you need to do is form little balls.
And just put that in the oven.
Okay.
So it's basically a really simple recipe. And yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we have our pan ready. It could be any baking tray that you can use. And once it has been formed into a mass that comes together, then you can bake it. Yes? Okay, so do you want to say anything else? Do you want to sign off?
Yes. Okay. So we're gonna be making these not into really big balls because they stick together. And bye. Thank you for joining me in this Anzac cookie Australian recipe. So thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.